Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. And joining me on this segment from Austin, Texas is Joshua Carnes. He's the founder of Lion Business Brokers. Joshua, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Happy to be here.
Joshua, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically who are the folks that you specialize in helping?
Yeah, so Lion Business Brokers was founded to provide a higher level of service that I felt wasn't being offered by lower mid-market advisory firms in the industry. And so we pride ourselves on providing that elite level service that you would generally only get with a national or international brokerage firm, but on a much more local level.
So for folks that are thinking of selling their businesses today, oftentimes I'd imagine it's the first time they're doing this sort of thing if they've been in business a long time. So they must have a bunch of questions. What do you find are their biggest concerns when they reach out to you to sell their business?
Yeah, so probably one of the first questions that we get asked, and you should probably be asking if you're considering about selling your business, is what is my business worth, right? We believe it all starts with a number. You either like that number or you don't, and you need to do what you need to do to figure out to get your business to a number that you do like in order to sell for a profit. So, for us and most business owners that we talk to, it all centers around that valuation and what is their business actually worth.
Today in the news, you're hearing a lot about the Great Resignation, and that's what inspired this whole series. Has this affected your field in a way now that you've got a lot more buyers coming into the market? Have you seen a lot more folks considering selling their business if it's the right time?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's had a really interesting impact. So I would say post COVID, and I'm really talking 2 to 3 weeks post COVID, we saw the buyers already starting to hit the market. It's gone from one of those things where pre-COVID we were 2 to 3 emails a week of buyers actively reaching out, and I'm talking large firms, private equity, family money, things like that, to now it's 3 to 4 emails a week. I'm getting phone calls of buyers saying, hey, what do you got? Do you have anything on the back burner? So the buyers have definitely ramped up their interest, and there's a lot more of them. But one of the things, and I don't know if any of your other guys have talked about this, is the great baby boomer exodus. We're also actually starting to see that. So it's been rumored to be coming for years, and we are just now starting to see that. Speaking to those business owners who are getting tired, they've been working for 30 years, they survived the 90s, the 2000s, and everything else, and they're looking to exit. So it's going to be a pretty interesting time for the next 3 to 5 years in this industry.
Gosh, that sounds like a huge, what do you call that type of a storm that's coming together? You've got the Great Resignation and the boomer exiting. So, wow, what a better time to trigger that, I'd imagine. So, Josh, so for these folks that are selling, and if it's their first time, there's probably a lot of myths or misconceptions, I imagine, that people hold about selling their business. Do you hear anything crazy like that people think about selling their businesses that isn't quite right?
Yeah, so probably one of the most interesting misconceptions that I see, and it happens a lot in this industry, is the business brokers being tied in with commercial real estate brokers or commercial real estate broker agents. Commercial real estate brokers are a great referral source with us. We partner those out, but really those are two very separate and distinct industries, two different skill sets. We do absolutely no commercial real estate in our office. We refer that out to the professionals or their attorneys and let them deal with that. So that's probably one of the biggest ones that we see is the potential sellers starting the conversation with commercial real estate brokers first. While they might be able to help them, they might know a buyer, completely different skill set, different industry, and generally separated out as such.
Great insight. As you start working with these business owners, have you ever found as they get prepared to sell their business, have you ever seen them make glaring common mistakes or pitfalls that they fall into that you can kind of help people avoid?
Yeah, so probably one of the biggest one is around that, and it's getting your financials together. And but doing so in an accurate way, right? Preparing your financials is a huge piece of the puzzle, and it's generally one of the first things that any buyer is going to want to look at or dive further into. And so, probably one of the most common things is not having your financials together. They're worried about talking to their CPA or something like that, which is completely understandable. But do what you need to do to get your financials in order. If you do find that right buyer and you sell, it's an all-in deep dive into your financials and your books. And so, just being prepared for that is probably the best any buyer can do.
What inspired you to get into this field and help business owners in mergers and acquisitions? How did you get started?
So my personal start is kind of funny. I had just exited my own business as a marketing consultant and was getting ready to get started in the real estate industry. And I had a personal friend who was a life mentor and coach for me. And no joke, I was sitting down, showed him my business plan, prepped everything out, and he said, "So you're really going to go sit in a car with people in the back of your car and put on a fake smile and show them around?" He was like, "That's not you." And I said, "What are you talking about, man? There's a ton of money in the industry. I can do it. I know what I'm doing." And he said, "Hey, why don't you talk to a guy?" I got a friend doing business brokering. He goes, "It's a lot like real estate for businesses." And long story short, we're going on year 7 now, and best decision I've ever made. Love the industry, love helping business owners, and couldn't be happier.
Josh, before I ask you my last question, for folks that are considering selling and working with an advisor or an intermediary, what would you say is the most important thing they should consider when choosing that broker to work with?
Yeah, so one of the things that we recommend that everyone do, especially if you're talking to multiple brokers, is just that. Go ahead and talk to multiple brokers, right? You're about to enter into about a year-long relationship with this business broker. This isn't a short process. And so there's a personality aspect that's come into play, and you're going to let them into every aspect of your business. So you want to make sure that, this business broker is professional and someone you want to do business with for the next year, because like it or not, if you hire us, I'm all in for the next year, getting your business sold. So talk to multiple brokers. And one of the biggest things that we recommend that anyone do is ask them, how are you going to market my business? What is the plan that you're going to do? And look at some of their sample marketing material. You would be surprised in this industry. I think the industry is very archaic in nature. It's an old industry by nature. And some of the people just don't take the time to market these businesses properly. So I would recommend that anyone looking out there look at the sample marketing material before by your broker, compare it to the people you're talking to, and decide, is this someone I really want to represent my business?
And coming from a marketing background, you know the importance of the marketing, and that's a great insight that I think a lot of people overlook. It's really about the marketing of the business. Joshua, for folks listening now that are considering selling, or folks even looking for a business to purchase that would love to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Yeah, so lionbusinessbrokers.com is our website. We provide free business valuations for anyone looking. So whether you're ready to sell or not, you just want to know what your business is worth, we're happy. Go to the website, lionbusinessbrokers.com, and we are happy to provide free business valuations. We have agents that represent all of Texas, so everything from Houston, Fort Worth, all those Texas markets, and we can do anything in about 17 states that we work in. So happy to help anyone out there.
This has been terrific. Joshua, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing with my audience today. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
That was Joshua Carnes. He's the founder of Lion Business Brokers out of Austin, Texas. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.